Magandang araw mga ka-aerial defense, may ibabahagi na naman ako sa inyo. Dahil ngayong araw na ito ay may pag-uusapan tayo tungkol sa depensa, Pilipinas sinagot at binanatan ang China dahil sa pagbabanta sa bansa, pinuna ni Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro, ang babala ng China laban sa pinakamalaking joint military exercises sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at Estados Unidos. Binanatan din aniya ang China dahil ang intensyon ng China ay palaging masama at walang transparency. Mariing tinutulan kasi ng China ang mga pagsasanay, na may babala ang foreign ministry nito na ang Estados Unidos, Japan, at Pilipinas ay tinawag na playing with fire. Gayunpaman, ipinagtanggol ni Teodoro ang mga pagsasanay, na tinawag bilang isang ehersisyo sa collective deterrence, at sinabi na kung negatibo ang reaksyon ng China, ipinapakita lamang nito na ang masamang plano ng China ay napipigilan.
It is, first and foremost, an exercise of collective deterrence. And if China reacts that way, then it means to say that whatever plans they have are deterred. If the shoe fits, it's not the problem of the participant, it is their problem. And for a long time, if you monitor China, you have never heard them say anything positive against anybody else. It's always Japan is wrong, South Korea is wrong, the United States is wrong, New Zealand was wrong in crossing the Taiwan Strait. This will be destabilizing to the area. They even cite the ASEAN Charter when they're not an ASEAN member. So it is always, for China, a question of guilt avoidance. And the world knows these kinds of messages only serve to concretize the case that they are against the world in terms of freedom of navigation, in terms of norms. And it is undoubted that they really have an expansionist agenda, which they couch in language said, oh, these countries just want to contain the rise of China. But if rise is equated to expansion in the West Philippine Sea, then it is but right that they are contained. So, lastly, the real point is there is no trust at all in China because their intentions are sinister and non-transparent. Even their entering into negotiations are non-transparent. And their track record from the 1949 period when they took over to mischief-free to this date has been really dismal in terms of international engagements. Even their investments, it is doubtful whether these investments have benefited China more than the recipient of their so-called grants and assistance. We must not forget that China is illegally occupying or trying to occupy territories that belong to the Philippines and depriving the Filipinos of their sovereign rights in areas that cannot be swept under the carpet. Secondly, we have an arbitral award that we won that says that China's claims, which it continues to do at the present time, are baseless. So, it is not a question of foreign policy, but a question of our constitution. And so, the president was asked in the White House in an interview, how do you balance between China and the United States? He said, do I have any choice given the fact that what China is doing? So China itself is the main factor that does not allow the Philippines to pursue an independent foreign policy. Secondly, we cannot forget that we have a mutual defense treaty with the United States. That is not only policy but law. So that's my answer. So much as the president would want and really pursues an independent foreign policy by trying to engage China, the actions of China themselves compel us to act in a way where we have to protect ourselves. And any responsible country, for that matter, any country worth its salt, would have gone this way or even further a long time ago. Look, now Indonesia has entered into agreements allowing U.S. overflights in Indonesia.
Yes.
And the other day, there were Chinese incursions into Malaysian waters. In Vietnam, China is also at odds with them. And Vietnam, although they do have bilateral relations with China, being part of that bloc, also has U.S. presence. Our combined operations, which General Bronner talked about earlier, despite the conflict in Iran and elsewhere, have even continued. And not only with the U.S. has a substantial commitment to us in actually not only in the West Philippine Sea but also in the South China Sea, in the high seas. No?
Yeah.
But other countries are joining, are also working with us. The UK, the Scandinavian countries, France, Italy, Germany, India, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, South Korea, and Japan. So it is an amalgam of countries.
Sinugunan din niya ang paggamit ng mga site ng Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement o EDCA, na sinasabing nananatiling marginal ang kanilang paggamit ng mga puwersa ng US dahil sa hindi nalutas na mga isyu sa lupa at infrastruktura. Ang Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement ay nagbibigay daan sa mga puwersa ng US na rotational access sa mga piling base militar ng Pilipinas at ang prepositioning ng mga kagamitan sa depensa.
However, the use of the EDCA sites has been marginal because some of these we still have to settle the land and tenurial issues. Na nakatayo, may iba na inaayos pa namin yung papeles. Yung iba na potential sites, wala pang Philippine Air Force presence kasi nga yung infrastructure dun sa mga lugar na yun mahirap gawin. No? And sometimes napasukan natin, may mga informal settlers.
Oo.
Na
Okay.
trabaho ng kaap, for example, na paalisin. So, maraming delays. Yun nga ang nakakaubos ng oras ko.
Yeah.
Kasi napakahirap ng delays dito sa project execution. Dito tayo matumal at kailangan.
Oo. Okay.
Antemano, hindi ayos ang pagkakalatag ng mga proyekto for sustainability. Kaya pagpasok ko, ang dami namin nire-remedyo.